So I've been running the Orient Powerwall batteries for 2 years now, and it's time for a review. So we're gonna go over some numbers, look at the voltage differential and the number of cycles, and then we'll give you our opinion on these things. Are they the best out there? Are there other ones that are better? Maybe. We'll see. So let's get into it. Tell us about the specs of this unit.
Yeah, the Orient Power 48 volt, 100 amp hour Powerwall battery is just like the server racks, except it hangs on a wall. They're just a very basic 16 cell configuration that's set up with the lithium iron phosphate 3.2 volt cells. You're going to get 51.2 volts out of it. It's what the nominal setting is, though we're going to call it 48 volt because that's industry standard. And with the Orient Power, we opened up one and looked inside, and it's just like all the other batteries. They're very basic. You know, they have your cells are in there. You got your BMS. They have a circuit breaker. Not a whole lot to them because if you've been looking at these batteries, you know exactly what's going to be on there. This Orient Power is no different than any of the other ones. The one thing that we like about the Orient Power setup, and there's others this way, is the battery cells are bolted in place instead of welded on. There's controversy over whether that's good or bad, but in our previous video, we did go over that and we showed how the bus bars were bolted onto the battery instead of welded. And we still like that because if you have one go bad, you can still take it out. And by the way, we bought this with our own money. So this is our own opinion of what we think about these batteries. We have not been paid or contacted Orient Power and talked to them about any kind of reviews. We're just telling you what we found. Jordan's been running this thing. So when you went back and did your operational tests, what was it you actually found? And some of the biggest things we're going to look at in this is we're not doing a full capacity test on it. We're not putting heaters and hair dryers on, all that kind of stuff. We just want to look and see how the cells appear to be holding up, how many cycles we have on it, and how the cells are holding up is what we're looking at is the differential between the high and the low voltage of each cell in the pack. We'll call it the delta. And that's kind of important to us because as we look at the delta between the cells, we don't want it to vary too much. And this does have a passive balancer that's built into the BMS. It's not active, so it's a very low. I don't know what the specs are on it because they don't really give you a lot of specs, but it's going to be between 60 and 100 milliamps is how much balancing capacity the BMS is going to provide for this thing. So if you get way out of balance on your battery cells, then you can run into problems down the road. We're going to look at it and then we'll talk about the problem with having a really high delta between the highest and lowest cell in a pack. So when you were doing the testing and looking at the delta on the cells, what did you find on that?
Well, the battery number one, excellent. Charging it up to, I tried to bring them down to about to a 3 amp input charge with the generator. And the first one I was balancing with solar and the generator. So the numbers were kind of jumping around a little bit, and then the solar started falling off, and I didn't want to start the generator back up. So they were putting in about 3 amps into the one battery pack number one, and the voltage differential was 37 millivolts. So pretty low.
Yeah, 37 is really good. That's acceptable. I know the DIY builds we've had where we're running JBD BMSs. It's typically lower than that, but we start off with a better balanced battery. So we did not balance these when we got them. I forgot to mention that. We didn't go across and do a balance. We just took the factory, whatever they sent to us, hooked it up and started running it.
Yep. And the battery pack number two had a higher, I guess it still falls within the safe range, but same thing, down to 3 amps input. This was, okay, actually disclaimer on the first battery, you said it doesn't really matter that much, but I was charging just the number one battery. I had the second one turned off. The second battery, when I was doing it, I had them both turned on, but that shouldn't matter. Anyways, second battery, putting 3 amps in, we had a differential of 71 millivolts. And possibly the reason for that, I don't know if this, if we want to say this is the reason for the imbalance or not, but if you saw our previous video, we had an issue with the wiring harness not being connected on the BMS of the battery pack number two, which was causing a very large differential. It was causing one cell to be really low and one to be really high. So I was getting all kinds of errors with the battery pack number 2. We went into the battery and found the wiring harness, the one that goes into the BMS. It was just slightly crooked, not pushed in all the way, pushed in all the way. And since then, I've only had one problem where it started showing that again, where I was getting an error of an overvoltage. One cell overvoltaging is the exact same thing as last time. And this time I didn't take the cover off and see if the harness was connected, because the harness goes straight down. It plugs into the BMS from the top down. So it's not something that's being pulled out of place by gravity. So I'm not quite sure what was going on. The only thing I can think of is just not a good connection, because I was tapped on the side of the case and it went away. Not exactly the proper fix, but it hasn't done it since. If you're finding the video helpful so far, give us a like and also subscribe to the channel. It would really help us out. Also, if you want to support our work, you can join our Patreon, Subscribe Star, and Buy Me a Coffee.
What if it's a loose wire?
Yeah.
I know before
There's
it was
something,
the connection.
there's something loose in there.
Yeah, before we pushed the connection, because it was not snapped in on one side. You have to
Yeah,
watch
that was-
that video, because that was really interesting what we found there.
Yep. So 71 millivolts difference on battery pack number 2 that had the wiring harness issue, or the loose wire issue. But still, I mean, what's your take on that?
That's okay. It's not bad. And also, there was probably got unbalanced during that time, because it seemed like it went on for a while. And didn't we take it out of service for a while?
Yeah, we did. And that's where we come into the number of cycles. You'll see the difference here. On battery pack number 1, we have 711 battery cycles, because that was the one that I was using while we had battery number 2 offline. Battery number 2 had 538 cycles. So for such an easy fix, we had that thing offline for quite a while.
Yeah, well, they're intimidating. I mean, these things, if you're buying one that's a pre-made, factory-built battery, you're buying it because you don't want to mess with it, really. If you built it yourself, yeah, you're kind of on your own. You need to know what you're doing. But it's like most people don't want to open it up and start poking around like we did. But even so, it's still a little bit, you got to have time to take it off, take it offline, get in there, poke and prod and see what's going on. And then it became very obvious. It's like, wow, one little push on a connector and it just started working normal. That was kind of strange. Now, we did not contact Orient Power on that either. We just found it on our own. And so as far as support goes for these things, we've heard good things about the support. We've heard that people they get back to you, of course, on, opposite daytime, because I think they're awake at night and when we're sleeping. And so if we're sending emails, we're not going to get a reply till the next day. And that seems to be fairly consistent. We did just contact them recently about a question, and they got back within 5 or 6 hours, but I contacted them early. And so, yeah, support, I don't know. We've never had to go with the support.
Yep. Haven't had to go down that road, but so that's good.
Yeah.
Not had any issues with it. So in addition to checking the voltage differential of each cell, I also checked the torque on the nuts.
How did that work out?
They were, well, okay. So battery number 2 I did first and had the incorrect torque settings. So originally you'd said that they were supposed to be 4 Newton meters.
Yep, 4 Newton meters.
Such a weird, I'm not used to that. I want to say 4 inch pounds. 4 Newton meters. That's what we had it set to. They did not move at all. And it felt like it was way too, like not enough force on there. So you contacted...
Yeah, we contacted the Orient Power, Zulin over there, and he's the only person we've really had contact with. He got back right away and told us 8 Newton meters. If you're retorquing, they torque them to 10 Newton meters at the factory.
Yeah, and so battery number 1, I did 8 Newton meters, and they did turn into. So not just a little bit either. One thing I did have to do when I was tightening them down, the wires were wanting to move, the BMS wires. Those were wanting to spin with the nut, so I did have to hold those. I don't know if there's a better way to do that, but I did have to hold them back, try to keep them from turning as I was turning the nut.
Yeah, no, there's no way to do anything different other than just kind of hold with your hand or finger, because every one we've ever tightened down, that sense lead ring terminal thing will move. But that does show you some of the importance of going through and checking your torque every now and then, because our DIYs, we've really, every one I've ever tested after 3 years, They did have to be tightened, and that was only to 4 Newton meters on those because of the type of terminal. So, yeah, good thing to check if you have the bolt-ons.
Yep. As far as anything else, I don't think there was really anything else. I mean, nothing else was jumping out. There was no errors. The cell temperatures looked fine. But yeah, if there was a problem, they would have shown up in an error.
Right.
An error code if there was a temperature problem or anything. So everything's looking. I mean, everything's been fine. And yeah, the things I like about it, I think the best things for our house. You know, we have kids, so they hang on the wall, and that's pretty big because you can get the server rack style, or you know, there's all these various styles of DIY build. Man, if a DIY, man, kids would be like ripping wires off those things. So this is really nice because it's all self-contained. It hangs on the wall and it's out of the way. To me, that's a big plus. You know, obviously there's the downsides to it, being you didn't build it, so you kind of don't really know how it works. It's gonna be harder to repair if you need to do your own, you know, change out the BMS or whatever.
Yeah, one thing to note on the testing of the delta between the battery cells themselves, individual cells, is you took it up to 55 point, I believe about roughly 55.6 volts.
Yep.
I think that runs to about 3.475 volts per cell. And if we went higher, if we took it all the way up to 3.65 volts, or the total pack voltage of 58.4, it probably would have been a higher delta. We do notice that on the DIY builds we've done, is once they start getting a little bit out of balance, when we crank it on up higher to, like try to max out the voltage on the thing, it does seem to get wider. And also as it sits there at that voltage for some reason, while it's just the tail currents coming in, it's like your input current's dropping. It does seem to kind of climb just a little bit. But in this case, we were watching it and it climbed minimal. It wasn't anything to write home about. And the voltage you're running, 55.6 is,
Yep.
55.6. You're not in danger of this cell pack cutting off because of an individual cell overvoltage at 30, 40, or 70 millivolts. So that's a perfect way to run these things so far. And I guess we cranked them all the way up and ran them to the voltage of 58.4 volts total pack. Then we probably would get we'd see a little bit of, a little bit of shutting off of the charging cycle, or we'd see the charging shut off at some point. But no, so far this has been a great one. I mean, that's a lot of cycles on one too. I mean, I know our DIYs aren't nearly that many.
And how we're power users, we cycle them. You wouldn't have that issue because you have so much solar.
That's true. The solar comes in and we're trying to just burn it off.
Yeah.
So
if you got enough solar, you don't use me. But how many cycles are these rated for? I don't recall.
I think these are going to be, I believe we looked at the cell and I forget what brand they were, but typically 100 amp, it's going to be, I'm going to guess anywhere from 3,500 plus. So at least 3,500 is usually the bare minimum on the bottom side. And with these holding up this way, you went through that really bad contortion where it's like when you're getting over voltages and all kind of stuff is just that one's going crazy. So it had to be shut off. And even going through that, the pack seems to have held up pretty good. So that was not detrimental, evidently, because the BMS worked. So that's quite a few more years.
Yep. And it's been a game changer for the generator runtime, reducing that. So that's been huge. Big. Let me just say it this way. I can recommend these because if you got flooded lead acids, this is a huge improvement.
Yeah.
We would have been running the generator a whole lot more. So
yeah, the conversion rate's good. That's a whole story in itself, going from lead acid to lithium iron phosphate. And even with your lower solar, which we'll correct this year and see how things work out, that's been really nice. If you have to have one that hangs on a wall, the Orient Power seems to be good. The interesting thing is, this had anything to do with this battery review. We are seeing a couple more come on the market. EG4 is coming up with one they hang on the wall. I don't know if they call it a power wall, but anyway, they do hang it on the wall. And so they maybe weren't so popular in the beginning because it was like server racks were just, they were very abundant. And the Orient Power's little power wall thing seemed to kind of take a back seat to the pre-built or factory built batteries, but they're still hanging in. And with this one working good, it's like no questions. I think they're all fairly built, unless you get some really crazy one that, just come off the ship from China and it's like some unknown name, you're going to get something halfway decent in most of the name brands. And Orient Power is not a typical name brand. You don't hear it a lot, but it's solid.
And if you like the content, be sure to like, subscribe, share with a friend, and you can also join our Patreon, Subscribe Star, and Buy Me a Coffee. Thanks again for watching, and we will see you next time.